We're gonna be ranking all the Splatoon characters by the amount of war crimes that I think they've committed. Callie better be an S? An S is a war criminal? I mean, if that floats your boat. First off, Sheldon is definitely a war criminal. I mean, like, he's selling weapons to children. Oh, but wait, he might have a license for it. Maybe a war criminal with a license. I'm gonna go out on a limb and give an unpopular opinion here. I think the Octolink soldiers aren't war criminals. They're just obeying what their superiors tell them. It's not really anything dubious. I mean, like, maybe they're, like, guarding the Zapfish and that could be considered a war crime, but, like, you know? Okay, but Isopadre is definitely a war criminal. I refuse to believe that he isn't. Normal people is different from not war criminals because there's not really any question of them being war criminals, so it's important to distinguish them from the not a war criminal tab. They're mostly people who you could probably make an argument that they are war criminals, if that makes sense. Shiver robbed a gas station. Does that count? Well, I mean, that doesn't really make her a war criminal here. We'll make a new tab. Criminal, but not a war criminal. I think Shiver Fry and Big Man are criminals, but they're not really war criminals, because, like, they broke into Alterna, which is, like, a government-protected site, but they didn't actually do many crimes. You could argue that fighting in Alterna is considered a war crime, but it's a bit shaky at best. She's just a shopkeeper. I mean, she's a criminal, actually. I'm pretty sure that the Japanese text of Splatoon 2 shows that she's constantly high. Okay, so these guys are also criminals. Merch, and... okay, I guess Spike isn't here. I don't know why the bands are on this list. I mean, I guess by definition, they're not criminals, so yeah, I guess we'll just pop them over here. Is DJ Octavio a war criminal? Was stealing the Zapfish considered a war crime? Or just a normal crime? Okay, never mind. I guess he did fuel weapons of mass destructions. Alright. Pearl, absolutely a war criminal. I agree. She gets her own tab just to herself. Good for her. Okay, Captain Cuttlefish, I think, is also a super war criminal. He kind of just launched like an unnecessary attack against the Octolings. Oh yeah, Captain Cuttlefish is racist too. Can't forget about that, obviously. That makes him a super war criminal. Marina canonically is. I guess... well, that's a bit of a difficult argument, because while Marina is a war criminal, she also technically is, what's the word I'm looking for? A victim of war, I guess? Yeah, but she's still a war criminal. Little Judd is a super war criminal. Where is Tartar? I don't know. Where is he? Okay, if Mr. Grizz and Tartar were here, they would be up here in super war criminals. No, they're not even war criminals. They're just terrorists. Like, they need their own tier above super war criminal, but they're not here, so it's whatever. I think Harmony is definitely a criminal of some volition. I don't know what crime she's committed, but she's definitely a criminal. Okay, Annie gets her own tier, and you might be asking, why? Squidling, why does she get her own tier? And that is because she runs capitalism. You hate to see it. It's hard to get gear with special abilities unless you go to the shops, so... sorry, man, just gotta put you there. It's a bit difficult for me to ascertain whether or not Callie and Marie are war criminals because they were acting up under Captain Cuttlefish, and you could argue that they are. Okay, if you could argue that they're war criminals, I guess they need to go up there. Judd, I'll put him in not a war criminal, but like, Judd, I feel skirts the line between criminal and not a war criminal. We'll give Mr. Coco his own tier, that is the wholesome tier, in that he can do no wrong. Now we're at the agents. I feel like Agent 3 would be a war criminal and a super war criminal just because they've acted on like literally every single side of the war. They helped out fighting the Octolings, and then they became part of Tartar's side, and then they started leading the Squid Splatoon, so I guess that makes them a super war criminal, but not at the same time because they didn't actually do any crimes in Splatoon 3. We'll just put him in war criminal. Agent 8 is another good example, I think, because Agent 8 definitely has participated in some dubious things in the Octolink army, but yeah, you know, we'll just put all the agents in war criminals, except for new Agent 3. She broke into Alterna and everything, but strictly speaking, she didn't actually do anything wrong. Okay, I think that's pretty good. That's a good list. I think we'll reorder these like so, and now we send it off to Twitter. Clip it and ship it.